Good morning friends. Today we'll continue with our lecture on coordinate geometry. So we have seen that in the coordinate geometry the points are given in two coordinates. The x coordinate called the x1 y1 we have for example A, and we have got a point B, say x2 y2. So when 2 points are given, we find the distance between the points AB by the formula d is equal to under root x2 minus x1, or you can even have x1 minus x2. Either ways, whether the difference is negative or positive, when you take the square it becomes positive, and y2 minus y1 the whole square. Yes, so this is the simple distance formula, and you see we have seen quite a few sums in which we use this formula to find out about the different geometrical figures. Means the different points given to us, what kind of figures they make. Yesterday we saw the section formula. Do you remember the section formula? There is a point P somewhere on AB which divides AB in the ratio m1 is to m2. Then the coordinates of the point P xy is given by what? The formula for the x we have m1 x2 plus m2 x1 upon m1 plus m2, comma, for the y we have m1 y2 plus m2 y1 upon m1 plus m2. Clear, right? So we have the formula. Now today we'll see a special case. What is the special case? What if this point P is exactly the midpoint? Now what is the meaning of midpoint? If you recall, the midpoint is the point which divides the line segment into two equal parts. Two equal parts means AB equal to PB. So AB upon PB. Now we have taken the ratio AP upon PB is M1 upon M2. But AP and PB is equal, so the ratio becomes 1. AP and PB are equal, so you get 1 M1 upon M2, and if you multiply here we get M1 equal to M2. So what is the special case of the midpoint? The ratio M1 and M2 is now equal. Both are equal, M1 and M1. So for the midpoint, the condition has changed. The ratio is no longer M1 and M2, it is M1 and M1. So if we now modify this formula, what will we get? M1 x2 plus M1 x1, because M2 is x1, upon M1 plus M1. So if you go further, I can take the m1 common here. m1, I get x2 plus x1 upon m1 plus m1 is 2m1. The m1 gets cut, so I get x1 plus x2 upon 2. Similarly, here also it happens the same. m1 y2 plus m1 y1 upon m1 plus m1. I hope you understand what I am trying to do here, right? I have replaced m2 with m1 because the ratio is the same. Taking m1 common, I get y2 minus y1, and m1 plus m1 is 2m1. So I get y1 plus y2, I should not write this, upon 2. Okay? So when it is the midpoint, what are the coordinates of the midpoint directly? It is x1 plus x2 upon 2, comma y1 plus y2 upon 2. So now I rub this off and just put the formula here. So what are the coordinates of the midpoint then? So you can see here P is any point on the line which divides AB in the ratio m1 is to m2. If it is m1 is to m2, then we have this formula. But if it is the midpoint, then the coordinates are now x1 plus x2 upon 2, comma y1 plus y2 upon 2. Okay? So let us say an example. Let P 3, 2 be the midpoint of line segment AB. If A is minus 7, minus 4, find the coordinates of B. So here what is the question I put on the board? I made a question. What question I put on the board? P is the midpoint of AB. It is given to us. We are given point A, we have to find point B. So let me take point B, let me call the coordinates say x2, y2. Yes, let the coordinates say x2, y2. Now what does the midpoint theorem tell us? The midpoint, P is the midpoint, so the x coordinate, this is x and this is y. So we should write midpoint equal to x1 plus x2 upon 2. Now x is given 3. So 3 is equal to, x1 is given minus 7 plus x2 upon 2. 2 goes into multiplication. What is this? 3 2s are 6. So 6 equal to minus 7 plus x2. And minus 7 goes on the right side. So minus 7 plus 6 becomes plus 7. So 7 plus 6 is 13. So 13 equal to x2. Means the x coordinate of B is 13. Now we'll find the y coordinate. Y is equal to y1 plus y2 upon 2. What is y2? What is y1? Minus 4 plus y2 upon 2. Same thing. 2 goes into multiplication. So 2 2s are 4. 4 equal to minus 4 plus y2. Minus 4 this side becomes plus 4. So 4 plus 4, 8 equal to y2. So the point B has coordinates 13, 8. So one more formula is added to our repertoire. Which is the formula? The midpoint. So this is the section formula. Here point P divides AB internally in the ratio m1 is to m2. But when it is the midpoint, then the formula becomes x1 plus x2 upon 2 and y1 plus y2 upon 2. Clear? So this is the formula, and I took a rough example here to explain to you how we make use of this. Right? Now we'll go to the formula of centroid of a triangle. Do you know what a centroid is? Before we move on to the centroid, there is one more sum we'd like to see. I am given a point A, 2, minus 2, and a point B, minus 7, 4. Now the question is, find the points or the coordinates of the points which trisect. What is the meaning of the word bisect? Bisect we did. It divides AB into two equal parts. That is the midpoint. It bisects. But here you have to find the 2 points which trisects. What is the meaning of trisects? It cuts AB into 3 equal parts. So there have to be 2 points now. What cuts AB into 3 equal parts? There will be 2 points. Let us call the first point P and let us call the second point Q. So the 2 points divide AB into 3 equal parts. So we have got AB, PQ and QB. AP is equal to PQ is equal to QB. So this is the meaning of the word trisect. So there are 2 points which trisects AB, means divides AB into 3 equal parts. Okay? Now let us first find the coordinates of point P. So coordinates of P. Now to find coordinates of P, you have to find in what ratio P divides AB. So first we'll see P divides AB in which ratio? So P divides AB in which ratio? So when P divides, we write AP upon PB. Remember? Or the ratio is what? AP is to PB. That is the ratio. P divides AB in the ratio AP is to PB. Now these are 3 equal parts. So this is 1 part, 2 part, 3 part. But the parts are equal. So if AP is 1 part, then how much is PB? PB is 1 part, 1 part. So the whole makes 2 parts. So P divides AB in the ratio 1 is to 2. Okay, how do we know? There are 3 equal parts. If AP is 1 part, PB is made up of 2 equal parts. So we got 1 is to 2. So now can we find the coordinates of P? Very simple. What is P? So we'll write the x coordinate. So let us say P is xy. Then the x coordinate will be formula. Let us repeat: m1 x2 plus m2 x1 upon m1 plus m2. The formula. We keep repeating the formula. Okay. So we have taken the first part as A, so this is our M1, our M1 is 1 and M2 is 2. So this is x1, y1, this is x2, y2. Because we have taken 1 of this side and 2. This is M1, M2, so this is x1, y1, this is x2, y2. Let us put the formula. 1 into minus 7 plus 2 into 2 upon 1 plus 2 should give us our x. Okay, m1 plus m2, 1 plus 2. So we have minus 7 plus 4 upon 3. Minus 7 plus 4 is minus 3 upon 3 gives us minus 1. So the coordinates of P, we found the x coordinate is minus 1. Y coordinate, let us see. I am writing it directly. M1, Y2. So 1 into 4 plus 2 into minus 2 upon M1 plus M2, 1 plus 2. So 4, 2 into minus 2 is minus 4 upon 3, 0 upon 3 equal to 0. So the coordinates of the point P I got. What are the coordinates of the point P? Minus 1, comma 0. Okay, we got P. So we have got P. Now we need to rub the board here. And now we'll find Q. Now Q can be found in two different ways. Yes? To find the coordinates of Q, you can have two different ways. Which two different ways? If you see, now when Q divides AB, the ratio becomes AQ is to QB, right? Q is dividing AB in the ratio AQ is to QB. Now what is AQ? One part and one part. Two part. And what is QB? QB is one part. So Q divides AB in the ratio 2 is to 1. P divided AB in the ratio 1 is to 2. Q divided in the ratio 2 is to 1. That is one method and you can do it like this. Other method is, now we forget the point A and only take this point because now we know the coordinates of P. Then what do you see? Q is also the midpoint of PB. Are you understanding? If I forget the A now, I know the coordinates of P. It was divided into 3 equal parts. If I cut one part, it remains 2 equal parts. So Q is the midpoint of PB. So you can even find Q by finding the midpoint of PB, or you can find Q. So there are two ways you can do here. You can find Q using the ratio 2 is to 1 if you use the coordinates A and B. Are you following? Is it clear to you? If you use the coordinates A and B, then you can write Q divides AB in the ratio 2 is to 1. But if you are using the coordinates P and B, you can just say Q is the midpoint of PB. So this is given in the book, so I will use this formula. So what is the midpoint equal to? x1 plus x2 minus 1 plus minus 7 upon 2. That is minus 1 minus 7 upon 2 minus 8 upon 2 or minus 4. So this point is minus 4. And similarly the y, 0 plus 4 upon 2 is 4 upon 2 is 2. So the point is minus 4 comma 2. So these 2 points minus 1 comma 0 and minus 4 comma 2 trisects AB, means it cuts AB into 3 equal parts. Okay, but you can see there are two methods in which you can do this sum. Right? So there are two methods in which you can do this sum. Now let us move to one more sum regarding this ratio. So you can see we are given points AC1, A61, B82, C94 and DB3 are vertices of a parallelogram. We have to find the point D. So let me draw it. It's a parallelogram, right? So I have got A61, B 8,2, C 9,4 and D is P,3. They are the vertices of a parallelogram and I have to find the value of P. Clear? Now you can think of different methods in which this sum can be done. Because it is a parallelogram, I know AB is equal to CD. So this distance I can find. How can I find this distance? Distance formula. I can find the distance AB and CD will be equal, and AC and BD will be equal. Why they will be equal? Because there it is a parallelogram. It is given it's a parallelogram, so opposite sides are equal. So let us take AB equal to CD. Let us try to solve this sum. So what is AB equal to? I'll do it directly. AB is equal to under root 8 minus 6 the whole square plus 2 minus 1 the whole square, and CD is equal to under root P minus 9 the whole square plus 3 minus 4 the whole square. I hope you understand what I did here. Distance formula. Why I use distance formula? Because it is given ABC is a parallelogram, opposite sides are equal. So I found AB distance formula between. So 8 minus 6 is 2, 2 square is 4, plus 2 minus 1 is 1, 1 square is 1, equal to P minus 9 I keep as it is, 3 minus 4 is minus 1, the whole square is 1. Now you can see there is a square root on both sides. So let me take off the square root. Square both the sides, so we take off the square roots because we are squaring both the sides. What are we left with? 4 plus 1, 5 equal to P minus 9 the whole square plus 1. So 5 is equal to, this plus 1 comes here, so 5 minus 1 is 4. 4 is equal to P minus 9 the whole square. Squaring both, find the square root on both sides. Plus minus 2 equal to P minus 9. Now we see, if I take 2, 2 is P minus 9. Then the minus 9 goes on this side, so I get P equal to 11. And if I take the minus 2 equal to P minus 9, then plus 9 minus 2, so P is equal to 7. Yes? So I am getting two answers. Let me note down the answers here. P equal to 11 or P equal to 7. Let me note down both the answers. You will see why I have noted down both the answers. So I am getting two answers here, but this is only one point, so it cannot put two coordinates. Let us see what happens next. So when I take AB equal to CD, I got P equal to 11 or P equal to 7. Now I'm going to take AC equal to BD. So what is AC? AC is this, 9 minus 6 the whole square plus 4 minus 1 the whole square equal to P minus 8 the whole square plus 3 minus 2 the whole square. 9 minus 6 is 3. So 3 square is 9. 4 minus 1 is 3. 3 square is 9. Again I keep the P minus 8 as it is. 3 minus 2, 1. 1 square is 1. Yes? So this is what we are getting. Let us check it out once again. We have done an error here in writing the points. Okay, we have to discard this whole method and do it all over again. The mistake was AB, CD is a parallelogram, so C has to be 9, 4 and D has to be P, 3. So this first condition was still valid. Okay, the sum is still valid because again AB equal to CD. So we had AB, CD, so AB equal to CD was right. So we got P equal to 11 or P equal to 7. This does not change. Why this does not change? Because AB equal to CD. Can you see this? AB equal to CD. So CD or D is one and the same. But the second condition, we have to rearrange the coordinates. So now AC is what? You know AC, we have to write AD equal to BC. Okay, AB equal to CD plus we have got AD equal to BC. So the conditions will change now. This will become P minus 6 the whole square plus 3 minus 1 the whole square equal to under root 9 minus 8 the whole square plus 4 minus 2 the whole square. So you have to see this, the mistake I made, you do not repeat that mistake. ABCD is a parallelogram means it should be in a cyclic order. So you have to write ABCD. The first condition was what? AB equal to CD. So if I write CD or DC did not change. But the second condition when I wrote AC equal to B, it's not true. It has to be AD equal to BC. Okay. So we have got here under root P minus 6 the whole square plus 3 minus 1 is 2, 2 the whole square is 4 equal to 9 minus 8 is 1, 1 the whole square is 1, 4 minus 2 is 2, 2 the whole square is 4. Now like I told you last time, next step is square both sides, the square root on both sides goes away. So we have P minus 6 the whole square equal to, plus 4 equal to 5. So P minus 6 the whole square equal to 1 because 5 minus 4 is 1, or P minus 6 equal to plus or minus 1. So I write here P minus 6 equal to 1, then P equal to 1 plus 6, 7, and P equal to P minus 6 equal to minus 1, then P equal to 6 minus 1, 5. So when I take the second condition I get P equal to 7 or P equal to 5. So what is condition common for both? For both the common condition is P equal to 7. So my answer is P is equal to 7. The coordinates are P is equal to 7. So you can see what I did here. I used the distance formula. I checked AB equal to CD first condition, AD equal to BC second condition. In both the conditions I was getting two values. But for both the condition only one value is common. So the answer is P is equal to 7. You understood this method, but now we are going to take an easier method. A direct method and an easier method. I did not do that first because I wanted you to see how sums are done. So you can have your own methods, choose your own methods, and now I go to the easiest method. This method will work if the thing is a parallelogram, yes. If the quadrant is a parallelogram, even if it is a rhombus, even if it is a rectangle, even if it is a square, this method will work. In trapezium, yes, and the quadrilateral it might not work. But this method works for parallelogram, for rhombus, for square and rectangle. What do we know about the parallelogram? In a parallelogram, in a rhombus, in a rectangle, in a square, the diagonals bisect each other. Bisect each other means, let us say O is where the diagonals bisect. So AC is one diagonal, BD is another diagonal. Point O bisects. So what we can see here, the rule is for a parallelogram that the diagonals bisect each other. Bisect means cut into equal parts. So OD equal to OB and AO equal to OC. The diagonals of a parallelogram bisect each other. Bisect means O will have to be the midpoint. So O is the midpoint. So O is one common point, but it is the midpoint of AC also and the midpoint of BD also. Is it clear to you what I am saying? The rule is the diagonals of a parallelogram bisect each other. So if they bisect at the point O, then AO equal to OC, OD equal to OB. So O is the midpoint of AC also and O is the midpoint of BD also. Now if O is the midpoint of AC, what are the coordinates? x1 plus x2 upon 2. So 6 plus 9 upon 2. 6 plus 9 upon 2, comma 1 plus 4 upon 2. I know the coordinates. I get O is the midpoint. O bisects. So it is a midpoint. So this we get. But O is also the midpoint of PD. So we get P plus 8 upon 2 equal to 3 plus 2 upon 2. So we have 15 upon 2, comma 5 upon 2 equal to P plus 8 upon 2, comma 5 upon 2. Yes? Now this coordinate is the same, you can see, because the point is the same. So this 2 also has to be the same. So 15 upon 2 equal to p plus 8 upon 2. On both sides the 2 gets cut. So you get 15 equal to p plus 8. Take the 8 on this side. So 15 minus 8 equal to p, or p equal to 7. Here we directly get the answer. In this case, when I use the distance formula, I was getting two values of p and the common value I took, but when I took the midpoint, I got the direct answer. So there are different ways which you can do the same sum. You have to check out the method. Yes? So now we are left to do is area of a triangle. The next formula is area of the triangle. The textbook does not have the centroid, but I will make you do the centroid also in the next lecture. So this lecture I want you to make use of the formulas we learned so far, the midpoint, the section formula, yes, and in different figures. So now one thing again I want to tell you, very important, is along with coordinate geometry and the formulas of coordinate geometry, you should be aware of what the geometry also, the different quadrilaterals. So we are doing coordinate geometry, but it involves our geometry also because we are doing shapes on a plane. So the properties of the parallelogram, if you know, it's very good. If you do not know, no issues, revise it once. Revise the properties of the parallelogram, the rhombus, the square, the rectangle, the quadrilateral, the trapezium, the kite. Because in this sums you will have to know exactly what a parallelogram is and the properties of the parallelogram. I taught you a few. In the parallelogram, opposite sides are equal. Diagonals bisect each other. So you should know this to make use of this formula. So I will end here for today. Two more things to derive. Again, the area of the triangle and the centroid of a triangle. But that will be in the next chapter. Till then you can finish the exercise. And any doubts you can revert back to me. I end here. Thank you.